In the year 43 AD, a formidable fleet of Roman galleys cut through the choppy waters of the English Channel. Their destination was the White Cliffs of Dover, a land then known as Britannia. This was no mere raiding party, but the vanguard of an empire. This arrival marked the beginning of a profound transformation. For nearly 4 centuries, Rome would exert its will and influence, reshaping the very fabric of British culture, infrastructure, and identity. The island would never be the same. This is the story of how a distant, wild land became a vital province of the Roman Empire. It is the narrative of how Britain became Roman, and in many ways, how Rome itself became British. The invasion was driven by the ambition of Emperor Claudius. He sought a military triumph, a glorious conquest to solidify his often questioned reign and silence his critics in Rome. Britannia offered that opportunity. Leading the charge was the seasoned general Aulus Plautius. He commanded 4 legions, a staggering force of over 20,000 highly trained soldiers, augmented by thousands of auxiliary troops from across the empire. Their discipline was unmatched. They faced a fierce, if disunited, Celtic resistance. Warriors, often led by the charismatic chieftain Caratacus, fought bravely. Yet Roman military might, superior tactics and unparalleled engineering prowess secured their initial foothold at Richborough. Claudius himself arrived later, making a grand entrance with war elephants, a spectacle designed to awe and intimidate. His presence cemented Roman control over the southeastern territories, establishing a new order. While some tribes, particularly in the southeast, cautiously embraced Roman influence, others resisted fiercely. Caratacus, a symbol of defiance, continued to rally tribes in the west, refusing to yield to the invaders. The Roman advance was often brutal. Governor Suetonius Paulinus, a man of ruthless efficiency, launched a devastating assault on Anglesey. This island was a sacred heartland for the Druids, the spiritual leaders of the Celtic peoples. The Roman legions systematically destroyed sacred groves and altars. This act was a deliberate blow against the spiritual and cultural identity of the Britons, aimed at breaking their will to resist. The seeds of a catastrophic uprising were sown in Roman brutality and cultural arrogance. The Iceni queen, Boudicca, suffered public flogging, and her daughters were raped, a horrific violation of their sovereignty and dignity. Adding insult to injury, Roman officials seized Iceni lands and enslaved their nobles. These acts of oppression ignited a furious resentment that simmered beneath the surface of Roman rule. Boudicca, a towering figure of defiance, rose to lead her people. She united numerous tribes, channeling their collective fury into a massive, vengeful army. Her forces included entire families, a testament to the widespread discontent. The rebellion struck with terrifying speed and ferocity. The Roman colonial capital of Camulodunum, modern Colchester, was utterly destroyed. A thick layer of ash still marks the site of its fiery demise. Next, the burgeoning Roman settlement of Londinium, modern London, met a similar fate. It was burned to the ground, its inhabitants slaughtered, as Boudicca's forces swept through the province. Governor Suetonius Paulinus, returning from Anglesey, faced a desperate situation. With superior tactics and disciplined legions, he finally crushed the rebellion at the Battle of Watling Street. Boudicca's defiance, though ultimately defeated, served as a stark reminder. Romanization was not an inevitable process. It had to be earned through careful governance, not simply imposed by force. The northern reaches of Britannia presented unique strategic challenges for Rome. The rugged terrain of the Scottish Highlands was a logistical nightmare, offering minimal benefits for conquest. Earlier advances by Governor Agricola into Caledonia, though initially successful, proved unsustainable. The cost of maintaining a permanent presence far outweighed any potential gains. Emperor Hadrian, a ruler known for consolidating the empire's borders, ordered a monumental construction project in 122 AD. This was to be a permanent barrier, a clear demarcation of Roman power. Hadrian's wall stretched for 73 miles, a testament to Roman engineering and organizational skill. It was a formidable fortification, complete with forts, mile castles, and turrets guarding the frontier. The wall marked the northern limit of Roman control, a physical boundary between civilization and the perceived wilderness. It also became a vibrant frontier zone, fostering cultural mixing and trade. A brief attempt was made to push further north with the construction of the Antonine Wall in 142 AD. This shorter barrier was an ambitious but ultimately temporary expansion. After only about 20 years, the Antonine Wall was abandoned. Hadrian's Wall remained Rome's enduring northern frontier for over 250 years, a symbol of its enduring presence. Over centuries, a unique Romano-British society began to emerge. Celtic Britons, once fierce adversaries, gradually adopted Roman ways, integrating them into their daily lives. Villas, trade networks, sophisticated architecture, and advanced infrastructure became hallmarks of this new hybrid culture. The Roman way of life offered comfort and opportunity. Examples like Fishbourne Palace, a lavish Roman villa in Sussex, showcased the British adoption of Roman style and luxury. It was a clear embrace of imperial sophistication. Towns like Verulamium and Aquae Sulis, modern St. Albans and Bath, became vibrant centers of this cultural fusion. They blended Roman urban planning with local traditions. At Bath, Roman engineering brilliantly channeled the sacred Celtic hot springs. They transformed a natural wonder into a magnificent complex of baths and temples dedicated to Sulis Minerva. The integration deepened further when Emperor Caracalla granted Roman citizenship to all free inhabitants of the empire in 212 AD. This was a monumental step. This decree solidified the integration of Britons into the wider Roman world. It offered unprecedented social mobility and a shared identity, binding them closer to Rome. By 300 AD, Britain was thoroughly Romanized, its landscape dotted with villas, roads, and towns. Yet in a subtle reversal, Rome itself was also becoming British, absorbing influences from its provinces. This blending of cultures was evident in the architecture, the art, and even the nascent forms of Christianity that began to take root. A uniquely British interpretation of Roman life flourished. As the 4th century drew to a close, the vast Roman Empire faced increasing internal and external pressures. Legions were progressively withdrawn from distant provinces like Britain. These vital troops were needed to defend the heart of the empire against barbarian incursions. Britain, once a prized possession, became a peripheral concern. With the Roman military presence dwindling, new threats emerged. Pictish raiders from the north and Saxon pirates from across the North Sea grew bolder, harassing the vulnerable coasts. The official end of Roman rule in Britain arrived in 410 AD. Emperor Honorius, facing the sack of Rome itself, sent a letter to the British cities, urging them to defend themselves. This message was a stark declaration. Rome could no longer protect them. The Britons were on their own, left to navigate a dangerous new world without imperial support. The Romano-Britons, a people forged from the order of Rome and the traditions of their Celtic ancestors, faced an uncertain future. Their identity was a complex tapestry of both worlds. The departure of the eagles, the symbols of Roman power, signaled a profound shift. It marked the end of an era and the coming of the age of the ravens, the Anglo-Saxons, who would soon reshape the island once more.